because everyone would have the same likes and just be like the same person.
I also agree on Lance on his idea because I think it's good to be different because you might meet a new person and you might like them. If like
I agree with the idea of yes because everybody thinks that like if people with the same life would be kind of boring and it wouldn't like they'd be like if you guys all did the same sport then nobody would be left to do the other sports.
How do those differences relate to the Holocaust or Hitler or the boy in striped pajamas?
well, there were Jews and they were different than Hitler, so he didn't like them. They were different.
Yeah, they believed and I believe that they believed since they believed in their beliefs and Hitler didn't believe what the Jews believed and he thought they were bad because they believed in the same thing.
What do you think, Jay?
I think that is really close to the Holocaust because if all the Jews were like the same as Hitler, I don't think that would have happened because Hitler wouldn't have blamed them for blaming them for the loss of World War II and War.
I think Hitler was like sort of judging because he thought that Germany was like the best country. Every other country was just like bad, that their country was superior.
I agree with Lance, and mostly because, like, I'm referencing to the book here. One of the children said when the Führer was visiting their house that I think one of them was learning French or whatever, and Hitler said, "Why would you want to?" And I can only guess that means that he thinks that his country is the best.
You guys want to move on? How did Hitler influence the Nazis?
Hitler made the Nazis think that Jews and other people were bad and weren't people at all. And so he made them believe that and follow him. So let's take the boy in the striped pajamas, for example. Bruno's dad said they weren't humans at all, and he was a Nazi. So.
I agree with Elizabeth, but I see it in a different way. I see it like he kind of like hypnotized the Nazis into believing what he thought because like he believed something and then he got like a group of people to agree with him and then those people kind of like they just kind of like spread and then they all kind of believed it.
I agree with Gracie because it really is like just completely hypnotized. Like the Jews are bad. Our only option is to kill them because we're the best country.
He convinced the Nazis that his choices were the right ones, and eventually he had enough people to believe that he was right, that they helped him kill Jews, and yeah.
I agree with James. Because if they didn't follow his rules, they would be killed. Like no mercy was shown through Hitler. I agree with what Gracie said. How he hypnotized them. It's like almost he put them under a spell, like how you see in movies, like how rulers like it's all weird. But so like whatever Hitler said, they would like believe like he did. He said because they'd be like under his spell and because he had so much power.
You guys want to move on?
Yeah.
If the Holocaust never happened, would the world be how it is today?
I say yes and sort of no because I honestly I only think that the Jew population would increase severely since most of the Jews were killed during the Holocaust.
I would say no. I disagree with Jay because we wouldn't have been able to learn like from Germany's mistakes. So he could have came here and done it to the U.S. instead of Germany. I guess.
I agree. Like, it could be yes and it could be a no because maybe not a lot of racism and judging, but it made us learn from history, from Hitler's actions, because when Hitler and his beliefs, maybe it could change how we are today.
I said no because maybe countries could like get along better and not just be like always going straight into war because they disagree about something, or like what Donald Trump is doing, like giving a ban to like 7 continents or countries or something.
It may be different because people may not be as aware of the racism that causes genocide.
How would it be different if they weren't aware of that racism that can cause something like genocide?
Then I guess like with like technology today, it'd be spreading a lot quicker because like if like they just now like we just now like genocide just started now, everybody would be like spreading stuff over the internet.
I agree with Gracie, because, well, I know this is not internet, but if we didn't have, like, if,
You would agree with Gracie?
Maybe it's spreading.
Genocide in the internet.
You can move on to another question. Well,
We're out of questions.
what questions come to mind? What connections, new connections have you made because of your discussion?
That
You could connect to Elizabeth's idea of learning from history. What do you think we learned from history with the Holocaust?
that you can't give a person too much power because if you just like got a president and you gave them too much power, you don't know what they're capable of.
I think we learned a lot because you shouldn't just take a race that you think might have ruined something for your country and just kill all of them because you thought they actually like made your country horrible, just like Hitler did.
James, what do you think?
I believe that. Well, I agree with JP. If
About taking one race?
I think that, well, war is a terrible thing, and I think racism just makes it even worse.
Do you want to sum it up?
So we thought that judging people was wrong.
And it's good to be different.
And Hitler like hypnotized the Nazis.
And that the world would be different if that never happened.
All right. Very good. Okay, these are deeper subjects that we're discussing than I think the subjects were last time that we were discussing. You are progressing in how, what kinds of topics you share your thoughts on and how you express that. All right, so outside circle, what are some good things? What are some good things that happen on the inside circle? Okay? All included.
Every topic.
They got to every topic. Good, Maddie.
Within the first topic of judging, every single person that spoke something about that judging.
Right.
I think all the way through like differences, influence, history, they all spoke something about it. One of them.
Yeah, everyone shared. Good.
Say someone talked like if they both said like something at the same time, then one of them would let the other person.
Okay, yeah, we showed respect, definitely, and that's a huge thing that is so important in today's world because we aren't showing respect as a nation in discussing matters that are deep. And that's something that we need to grow from, and that the adults who are acting like that could learn from you guys about. Maddie?
I like how they always say like adults know best, but we just did like a better discussion than they have done about some political things.
That some people have done, yeah. Good. What about agreeing with ideas? Or disagreeing with ideas? Either way. Erin?
I like how they do that.
Okay, and how would you describe how they did that?
Like when Laney and Lance were talking, someone would let the other person go first, and then they would say, I would agree with blah 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 about this or that.
Okay, so they used the connection statements, good.
They were very respectful, and they didn't like stop and wait. Oh no, I don't agree with that. It
Okay,
was
no
just a
interrupting.
smooth process.
Good.
There was no
Good. Ethan?
Yeah, like how Maddie said they would wait until that person was talking to say like I agree with.
Right. Another thing that I would push you to, I said this at the beginning, but I'm going to encourage
I
you.
agree with your idea.
Right, I'm going to encourage you again, rather than agreeing or disagreeing with a person, agree or disagree with the issue. And that can lots of times, and that's what unfortunately isn't happening in today's political world. Agreeing with an idea or disagreeing with an idea isn't as much of an offense as agreeing or disagreeing with a person. Because when you're agreeing or disagreeing with a person, it becomes even more personal. But if you're agreeing or disagreeing with an idea, you can step back and look at it a little more objectively, which is what we want to do in our discussions. Gracie?
Something that we could like improve on was
Good, that's what I was going to move to.
like our evidence. We didn't use a lot of evidence. We just kind of like went on to like what we thought about in like detail.
Right, I appreciate that because that was going to be one thing that I was going to encourage you in the next round to do. Pointing out that James even mentioned specifically that he was going to refer to text for his support. And that's what gives power to your discussions and your opinions. If you can back those up with evidence. Good, one more thing and then we'll switch.
Yeah, I also like how there was no specific leader. They all
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah. And then sum it up at the end. All right, quickly, quiet these switch places. On for the discussion.
We're sitting on top spitling.
That's what I'm saying.
Great. I know you do.
I'll do it too.
All right, Kyle, have you move up to shade off, have you move up to these empty spots here, because it's a better view. Thank you. All right, and you may begin.
Why do people think they are better than other people?
I think they do it just to put themselves on top of the others and take their confidence, make them feel high and mighty.
I agree with David. I would also like to add on to that. I feel like with the book, Bruno kind of judged Moore because of like the way he dressed, but Bruno didn't quite understand the topic or of what was going on in the camps before he kind of judged Moore.
I agree with David and Maddie, but I would also like to add maybe some people judge others because they don't have a better lifestyle than other people or they are getting bullied.
I agree with the idea because people judge people because they're most likely jealous of that person. Like if they're judging people about what they wear or something, most likely they might be jealous.
I agree. I think it's more an influence though, because Hitler told the Nazis to like take over and take control of the Jews instead of letting them like hurt them or not hurt them, but they say that they're the reason that they lost the Great War. So I think that he probably told them to take over and try and have more power. I agree with Shayla of how they thought that that it was the Jews' fault, but going back to the real life situation, it was mostly their fault because of they weren't prepared enough for I don't know some.
In the economy and their state or their country.
Yeah, they weren't like prepared enough for not the physical and mental state of the war. I think they were just prepared in their imagination. What do you think on this topic, Tyler? Well, I think that I also like to add that Hitler made himself basically powerful over the Jews. Because he wanted to make himself powerful almost. Because he's going to stand on top. I feel like Hitler felt like he was superior over everyone because he had like more power than them. So then he thought that, and since they lost the war, he felt that he needed to take it out on them because they lost. Do you want to move on? Yeah. Is it good to be different? I think. David, go ahead.
Okay, I think it is because otherwise everybody's the same. If everybody's the same, then there's no interest in the world would just be really plain and there'd be nothing really going on because there would be no conflict between anyone and there wouldn't be any political arguments. Everybody would have the same opinion.
And if people weren't different, then none of the stuff that we have now would be here because they wouldn't have the idea to come and like build it because they didn't because they were all the same.
I agree with David and Ethan, but I would also like to add that you don't want everybody to be the same person. You want to build new stuff and new personalities so the world has different opinions.
Is that what Hitler believed?
No.
Oh, yes, he did not believe that. I was saying.
I think yes, that it's good to be different because if you're the same, it's more boring. You don't get to try new things because everybody likes the same thing.
I agree with the Shayla because it's like if everybody was the same, say everybody was a doctor, then who would be the engineer and everybody else? If we were all the same, we wouldn't have the exact same things we have today if we were all that same person.
How do you think?
I think that it's good to be different, and I don't think Hitler believed that because if he believed that everyone should be different, then he wouldn't have killed the Jews.
What do you think, Bruno? or Shmuel would have said to that idea.
I think Shmuel would probably agree, but I don't know about Bruno because he's been teaching for Hitler, and a lot of like the teachers he's been with and his parent or his dad has been teaching him that Hitler's the best and that you should be the same and hate the Jews.
So let's Bruno liked to explore, and Bruno was that kid that didn't just want to sit down and learn about science or something like that. Bruno wanted to do other things, but Sir Litz, sing it. He told him that he was on this topic. He could only learn about history and nothing more.
Should we move on to the next topic? How did Hitler influence the Nazis?
I felt like he said, like, come join us. We're better than all the other political parties, and we should take all of our anger out on the Jews.
I agree. I think he probably told the Nazis, like, if you join my team, then you'll have more power and you'll be able to control the Jews.
I feel like he kind of influenced them by, in the book, how it wasn't really Hitler that did it though. It was Bruno's father that sent Cutler's 2 different arms. And I feel like he was doing sex, but he was doing things that he did not necessarily like, so he had that power to move.
I agree with the idea. I would also like to add that it was Hitler's choice to blame all of Germany's issues on the Jews, and because their country was going downhill, and he thought that there needed to be someone to blame for it. And so he made the Jews wear this band with the Jewish star on their arm.
And I feel like that's labeling. You don't label someone because you dislike their beliefs, or you dislike their personality. You don't label someone because you dislike them.
He wasn't only killing them, he was also bullying.
Kind of torture. Yeah, he was an evil man.
I agree with Maddie because Hitler was basically racially describing all the Jews, and then he was making like all the youth of Germany learn to be anti-Semite. He was basically brainwashing them in a way when they were adults, they would be interested in anti-Semitism and they would fight in the war with Hitler.
Should we move on? If the Holocaust never happened, would the world be like it is today?
I think it wouldn't, because it changed the world and how we like see other countries and what they can do.
I agree with I agree with Ethan, and the world would not be the same without history. Like, for example, if we didn't have a president, then for laws, the world would just be chaos, and there would be like shootings everywhere, no money.
I agree with Tara. I feel like if Hitler, basically, it was Hitler's empire. Hitler wanted all of this, and it was all his. No one else could take it away from him. He had to win. He had to be powerful. Except he was just thinking about him. Well, he was thinking about the Nazi soldiers and them and himself, mostly himself. He was not thinking about anyone else in the world, of how it would affect them, how it would affect any other people's beliefs, because you did not want to speak out against Hitler. No one wanted to.
Tyler, I agree with Ethan, her, and Larry that because if the Holocaust never happened, if you change the path, there can be disastrous consequences for the future that can disrupt what is here today.
I agree on the idea, but I would also like to add, I think the world would be a bit different because not many people would think about running concentration camps and getting soldiers and then gas chambers and killing a bunch of like over 6 million people.
Maybe on video games, but.
I think the world would probably have less security, and I know this isn't the only bad thing that's happened, but like illegal immigrants and people like suicide bombers or stuff like that, I think that there might still be people like Hitler, and there is. So if there probably would be less security if that didn't happen, because they wouldn't be trying to look out for people like that.
Shall we wrap it up? So we thought, why do you think that people thought they were better than them? Basically because they have more power.
And for is it good to be different? Yes, because everyone would be the same.
For influences, how did Hitler influence the Nazis? People can influence in a good way or a bad way. The good way is always better, so the world has peace.
And for if the Holocaust never happened, would the world be the same today? Or how the world would be today? We said it probably wouldn't.
All right, good timing. You guys did a great job. I like your present day, modern day connections in our world too. All right, outside circle. What are some great things that happened on the inside circle? Elizabeth?
They got into the conversation really quickly and did a good job of good ideas. And they were really respectful and they're not leaders.
They weren't many.
There wasn't a leader.
Okay, they all shared. Okay, Gracie?
They really expanded their thoughts and each other's thoughts.
Yeah, we did do it. This group did a little bit better job of that. Yeah, good. Thank you.
They didn't just say little short choppy things. They were they used their evidence and some evidence.
Okay, so having more elaborate opinions and explanations. Good. James?
They all agree with each other.
Okay. And we don't always have to agree with each other, though, do we?
Well, yeah, they also disagree. So
Okay, disagree, but connected then. That's the important part, that we connect our disagreements with each other and explain why. Yeah. Connecting them and building your understanding. That's great. Lance?
They used their time wisely, and they didn't really hesitate. They just sort of went straight into the idea.
Yeah, use the time wisely. I like that. Jake?
They sort of thought outside the box for ideas.
Yeah.
Some ideas that we wouldn't think about, they would think outside the box to get good discussion.
Yeah, the real world connections. Good. Okay.
I feel like David did an amazing job of expressing the way that he thought about the topic. And
Yeah, I agree. All right, wonderful job. When we come back, you will be evaluated. Leave your rubrics and discussion sheets on this desk right here. Great job, guys.